Yes.
So before we get too far afield here,
I've been far afield the whole program.
Yeah. So you talk about you talk about the state of Israel, okay, and the Israel component here in their thinking. But there is a group that has learned that they can hide behind a distinction between ethnic Jews and Talmudic Jews. And it's the Talmudic Jews that we're after. It's they believe this and they believe that. And I read this and it's like, okay, let's say everything that you're saying is true. Let's say it's 10 times worse than that. Number one, I don't see any of them, claiming that we can all become gods, and that God was once a man and lived on another planet. I don't see any of them saying that stuff. But what is our New Testament? They keep, the Old Testament this, and the preparatory prayers this, and I don't see any of them looking at Romans 12 going, our job here is to respond like this, not that. Instead, they want to keep ignoring that. And before I forget this, because we're getting at that age, and trust me, it gets worse as you go along here, young man.
You're not that much older.
You've already said it I don't know how many times. The issue at hand is not about anonymous handles on Twitter.
No.
It is about a small group of people marshaling a bunch of anonymous followers into a task of trying to subvert and to push away, all right, anybody, not just Owen Strahan, but anybody who dares to disagree with them, who dares to push back. And then when confronted on it, they leave the key part out. Well, you're going after the Anons. Not going after the Anons. We're going after people who deceive the Anons into doing their bidding. And then when this all blows up into something completely else that it never was, they sit back and they go, oh, what'd we do? We didn't do nothing. Nothing to see here. Mm. No, you are out there stirring the pot. You're using deception of all kinds, very subtle subterfuge, in order to play these little mind games with all kinds of people, in order to somehow hide from what we all know you're saying, and we all know that you're trying to gin up and get more followers who have a agenda of hate. Hide behind Talmudic Judaism, hide behind ethnic Judaism, hide behind other ethnic groups, all you want. The biblical mandate is clear, and you don't want to deal with it.
It's, the term has been used, platform building, and, we've been accused of it, and I'm like, what? First of all, we're really lousy at that, and secondly, we don't need to do it. We had a platform before anybody else had a platform. So I don't know. What do you mean platform building? I don't get that. But yes, people are trying to build platforms. Some people are trying to rebuild platforms they once had, having been disqualified from continuing to speak publicly. And then others are just young enough to be trying to build it. I wanted to get to this because this was the tweet that I had saved, and I had not recognized the connection. But that guy that I mentioned earlier, Binary Condition, was the guy that I had bookmarked. And he had said, he is attacking us who follow those who came before him, led to them by him. He's referring to me. I hate that I am forced in this situation. I loved, capital Loved, James White. I loved Wilson. But they are shooting us in the back as we continue on the very path that they laid out for us in the pursuit of truth. Okay, so here's the narrative. The narrative is being created. Notice there's no facts here. He is attacking us who follow those who came before him, led to them by him. What are you talking about? Who? The Luther stuff. I've talked about the Luther stuff forever. I've always made the distinctions I'm making now. People like Stone Choir. I've rejected that kind of racist drivel my entire life. They are shooting us in the back as we continue on the very path that they laid out for us in the pursuit of truth. What do you mean we laid out this path for you? What path? A path into thinking that the Jews are behind everything? A path toward white nationalism? Where did I ever lay anything like that out? Well, you said that we need to have borders. Yeah, we need to have borders. Any nation does. You can't have laws, and you can't have taxation, and you can't have anything that keeps a nation as a nation without borders. That has nothing to do with white borders. So what are you talking about? Show me. Prove it. Don't just go with the narrative. See, I don't even know if these people exist. I'll be honest with you. I mean, half these people, they may all be the same person with 25 different accounts. We've all seen the pictures of the rooms where there's 20 people sitting there and there are 500 phones. And they're all hooked together and they're all doing bot stuff all over social media. So it might just be the same guy. It might be someone who said, look, we're going to create a narrative. And the narrative is that we want out from underneath the responsibility of the generations before us. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say they're now out of touch. We're going to say they have boomer brain. We're going to say that they're been swept up with the post-war consensus. And so we're going to create this narrative and we're going to push it out on 100 different accounts. And it sounds like a bunch of people are saying the same thing, and that gives it credibility.